Breaking news as senators are finally discussing Trump's rebate proposal means more money is coming to millions and millions of Americans in the form of a new stimulus check. Well, look at this. Are you getting another stimulus check from the government? What you need to know, this is from 5 Chicago, and things are changing very quickly for millions and millions of Americans. Look at this. Rumors began circulating once again last week that the US government would be issuing stimulus checks to certain people depending on your income bracket. This is huge because if this check is coming, then it will change the financial situation of millions and millions of low and middle income Americans. Well, are we talking about a stimulus check of $600 or $2,000? Well, I'm gonna give you each and every detail, but all I need is just a little favor. It takes 2 seconds to please hit that like button on this video. So without any further ado, let's start the video. So let's start with today's biggest update as senators are finally discussing Trump rebate proposal. There are 3 hurdles that this new Americans Worker Rebate Act need to pass. Means $600 for individual, $600 for a dependent, and $2,400 for a family of 4. And don't forget, $1,200 for a couple. Moving on with the details, as this is very important. President Donald J. Trump's tariff agenda could use to provide stimulus checks to Americans. One Republican lawmaker has proposed, though the idea has failed to inspire some of his fellow Republicans. Yes, a number of Republicans are opposing this new act that could give money to millions and millions of Americans, but a new controversy started. And this started with a number of lawmakers are saying you have the money to give billions and billions of dollars to other countries, but when it comes to struggling Americans, you simply don't have the money to give them. Well, moving on with the details, shortly into the second term in the White House, President Trump announced that he would increase levies on international goods being brought into the US to usher a golden age of America. And this is important because according to President Donald J. Trump, billions and billions of dollars are pouring into the American economy, and now America is going to be rich again. Well, that's what his statement is, that make America rich again. And according to President Donald J. Trump, he's planning to give a portion of these billions and billions of dollars from the reciprocal tariffs that he placed on almost every country to millions of struggling low and middle income Americans. Well, Senator Josh Hawley, a Republican from Missouri, has proposed using the revenue from tariff to provide direct payments to millions of Americans. According to Hawley, so far in 2025, tariffs have generated more than $100 billion for the US. And you know what? Well, according to this very important proposal known as Americans Worker Rebate Act, well, if more money comes to the American economy, means that checks would go higher. So under this very important proposal, you need to know this. Well, Hawley introduced the American Worker Rebate Act, a proposal that will channel revenue from the tariffs into direct payments for Americans. Under the plan, workers and families could receive a rebate check or a stimulus check modeled onto the direct payments issued by the Congress in 2020 during the pandemic. If you remember, during the pandemic, $2,000 were given to middle and low income Americans, and they were happy about it. Well, according to the Hawley's office, the minimum payment would be $600. Remember, it's the minimum payment, $600 for each adult and dependent. Yes, your kids can also get $600 if they're under the age of 18. So $2,400 for a family of 4, with the potential larger sums if tariff revenue grows. And according to a number of analysts and experts, if this tariff revenue grows, it would lead to almost $2,000 or $3,500, means $3,500 worth of stimulus check for millions of low and middle income Americans. But there is a very important question mark right here, because a number of lawmakers are saying that this is not true. America is not receiving billions of dollars. This is just a political stunt or hoax. Let me know in the comments below what do you think about it. Well, Americans deserve a tax rebate after 4 years of Biden policies that have devastated families. According to Caroline Levitt, that the previous administration left a mess for them and now they're cleaning it. And you need to understand that if there is a mess that the previous administration left, they left it for American people. They are struggling because according to the recent report from Gallup, the prices of groceries are up by 21%. So that's why Americans need some sort of support, and they need it as soon as possible. And that leads us to this very important update. Are you getting another stimulus check from the government? What to know? Well, this is important. Look at this. Rumors began circulating once again last week that the US government would be issuing stimulus checks to certain taxpayers depending on your income bracket. We already know that President Donald J. Trump announced the possibility of these new tariff stimulus rebate checks, but they're calling it tariff rebate checks because, as I mentioned earlier, that billions of dollars are coming. So that's why a portion of it should be given to Americans who actually belong to the low and middle income category. And a number of lawmakers, analysts, and experts are actually welcoming this step from President Donald J. Trump, even those who are opposing him. Well, are Americans getting another stimulus check from the government? Rumors began circulating, but what did the Trump rumors claim? The rumors claim that the Internal Revenue Service and the Treasury Department have approved up $1,390 worth of stimulus check that will be distributed to low and middle income taxpayers by the end of summer. According to the spokesperson of the IRS, that's not actually the case. Yes, it's not, because there's some catch in it, and you need to understand. There's no recovery rebate credit for taxpayers to claim, the spokesperson told NBC. Even the checks were planned. Congress has not passed the legislation to authorize such payments. Such a shame, because these lawmakers have time. They can actually sit in Congress 24/7, according to these analysts and experts, and some lawmakers are actually share the same view. They're saying that these lawmakers always vote on the bills, on legislations that are there to give billions of dollars to other countries so they can survive and thrive, where our own people such as seniors, low-income families are struggling and they need some sort of support as soon as possible. So you need to understand that Republican Senator Josh Hawley of Missouri last month introduced the bill that would send tax rebates to qualified taxpayers using revenue from the tariffs instituted by the President Trump. Hawley's bill has not passed the Senate or the House because it's not even there for a vote. Senators are debating on this bill, and we hope that someone will soon vote on that bill and this becomes a law, because then it will go to President Donald J. Trump and he will sign on it. Let me know in the comments below, do you support this $600 stimulus tariff rebate check for Americans, or would you like to see a $2,000 stimulus check for millions of low and middle income struggling Americans? Please write in the comment section what do you think about it. I'll see you in the next video very soon. Till then, please take care and have a nice day.